I sent you back into the void. I saved the whole of reality from you. I am the Doctor, and you are the Daleks.
Welcome to About Time, a Doctor Who podcast. I'm Stephen, and I've been a Doctor Who fan since 2005.
And I'm Ben, and I've never seen the show before.
Now we're watching and discussing every episode of the revived series. And quite frankly, it's about time. Would you care for a podcast? I am your co-host.
Hello, Stephen.
Hello. I had to do that for the sake of tradition. All the Dalek episodes, we do that. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm alright.
We both have a week off, don't we? Which is nice. It's been a long time coming. So I'm on half term, obviously. And luckily, you've got the same week off.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Uh-huh.
Any news? Any updates for our lovely listeners?
I developed a recipe.
Well, I think someone developed it before you. But
yeah, they did,
yes.
obviously. But I just made it my own.
Yeah.
And it works really well. And
what is it?
Oh, it's sausages, onion gravy, and potatoes.
Mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes.
Yeah. So basically what you're saying is you've invented sausage and mash.
Putting it that way doesn't sound
so... But no, it's one of the nicest things you cook.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you do to the gravy to make it so tasty, but it's very good. And I'm glad that you've come round to it because you are not a fan of mashed potato.
I'm not a fan.
I love it.
But I can eat it now and then.
Yeah.
I put peas with it yesterday and that worked quite well.
Yeah. So that's a fascinating insight into our...
Oh, we're watching Picture Slam.
Oh my God. So Ben doesn't like to watch anything involving a plot at tea time.
No.
He likes either a light-hearted laugh or a quiz show.
Yeah.
And I love a quiz show, but sometimes I'm like, can we watch something that's like got a bit of narrative? But anyway,
No.
So we were watching Alan Carr's Picture Slam.
Yeah.
Your time starts as soon as you pick your first picture.
I want to go on it.
Yeah, you'd be good. Ben, this is one of the, dare I say this, don't want to upset you, but this is one of the few quiz shows that you're better at than me. Because you're a very visual person.
I am.
And you can get
Stephen looked at, there was a logo with three red diamonds, like in a radial form.
Yeah.
And Stephen was looking at it.
I can't even remember what that is now. Mitsubishi. You're better at getting it, I'm better at pronouncing it.
Mitsubishi. I'm quite good at logos.
Yeah.
Not so good at people's faces, but I'm quite good at logos and things and books. And
yeah. They seem to get a lot of gay couples on there, so maybe we're in with a chance.
Hi, we're Stephen and Ben, and we're a couple from Surrey.
Yeah. Hello, Stephen and Ben. Now, I do a Doctor Who podcast. Is that true?
No, it's not true. You've got the wrong couple.
You'd never admit to that.
Not on national telly.
No.
Well, I probably would, but...
It would kill you to do so. Anyhow.
Anything new with you?
Well, yeah, I've got one new thing, which is I'm starting up a little side hustle.
Yeah.
I'm going to start tutoring in the evenings.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that, but also cautious that I don't want to sort of take on too much and burn myself out. So
you're starting slow.
Yeah, I'm taking it slow to start with. But yeah, I'm excited to start that. So yeah, again, that's fascinating, I'm sure, for listeners.
Riveting. We live riveting lives.
We really do.
Yeah.
Anywho, today's focus of the episode is Series 5 of Doctor Who, Episode 3, Victory of the Daleks, by Mark Gatiss. I made no secret before we watched it that it's not one of my favourites.
No, you didn't.
So I'm interested to see whether you agree or if you didn't mind it.
Meh.
Meh.
It was all right. It wasn't the worst. It was better than the other two.
Really?
Yeah.
You think this is the best of Series 5 so far?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I love historical things.
Yes.
Historical period dramas are my jam. I love them. They're like my bread and butter.
Yeah, that is true. And that is, like I say, I don't hate this episode, and there are things about it I like.
There is some things that... This is just a glorified reboot for the Daleks.
Oh, yeah, we'll get into that.
This is just a... As it came out, it was like the new version of the Power Rangers.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah. People say that. People have said that before.
It was like, first up, the white Dalek.
Yeah.
Then the red Dalek.
And the blue
I was
one,
just
and the
like,
yellow one.
It was kind of almost like rebooting this Court of Skaro.
Yeah, the cult of Skaro, yeah. Now,
And it was just like, I understand why he was doing it, because he was building up he wants to build his own version.
of Doctor Who.
Not Doctor Who, but of the main villains.
Yeah. But this is the thing. Moffat gave us a new TARDIS, exterior and interior. Obviously, new Doctor, new sonic screwdriver.
Yeah.
Oh, even on the confidential for this episode, he literally said, "We've changed everything else. Why not change the Daleks as well?"
A lot of people would respond to that, like, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
I think to myself, like, it would have been fine to have one white one and then the like the rusty antique gold one to come to the side.
Yeah.
Like, so you built that.
Yeah.
I thought one was going to come out,
Yeah, no.
not 7.
A whole range. I think they remind me of the Teletubbies because they're all different colours. And the ship that they're in looks a bit like the Teletubbies' house inside.
Do you ever think that the Teletubbies are like what the Hobbits evolve into? Because they live in a hole in the ground.
Oh, okay. No, I've never thought of that before. Yeah, so essentially it's very thinly veiled, this episode, as an excuse to reboot the Daleks. They must have said to themselves, right, we're going to reboot the Daleks. We need an episode that writes that in.
Yes.
The thing, actually, watching it this time, I didn't quite understand, because the Daleks at the beginning said that the progenitor didn't recognise them as Dalek, because the progenitor had pure Dalek DNA. But those ones were made from Davros's cells. He took a cell from his body and made them each from a cell. So how are they not pure Dalek DNA?
I don't know.
Am I missing something?
No, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's called a plot hole, Stephen.
Or is it that they've mutated
It's called a plot hole.
in a different way?
It's called a plot hole. It's called a plot hole.
Or is it only pure Dalek DNA if it comes from those experiments on Skaro in Genesis of the Daleks? And so that DNA comes from there. And also, they went to this whole thing of testimony and let's get the Doctor to prove that we're the Daleks. And then they didn't listen to it anyway. They destroyed them anyway. They were inferior. But in terms of the new design, what did you think?
What's new about them? Just the colour.
Oh, okay. You did. So, but you saw them side by side, didn't you?
Just the colour.
No.
Is it not?
So quite a lot's changed. They're bigger. So the original Dalek from 2005 was built to have its eye stalk on a level with Billie Piper's eyes, so she could look into it. This one was built to be on a level with Matt Smith's eyes, so it's taller.
Oh.
It's chunkier. If you see them from the side, they've got a massive hump on their back for some weird reason. They've got these chunky...
Are they remote controlled? Or there's someone in there?
There's someone in there. Yeah, they've got this chunky sort of bumper around them.
Bump car.
Yeah. It literally, they on this confidential about this episode, they were like, oh, we're making them scarier, we're making them bigger and more threatening. I don't think they are more threatening.
You use primary colours, babes.
Yeah, they look like Smarties.
Out of all the threatening colours you could have chose.
So yeah, I'm not a fan of the design at all, and I would say probably 90% of the fandom agrees with me.
90%? That's a big claim.
I think as soon as the episode aired, Moffat realised that it had been a big mistake. So this design doesn't exactly stick around.
I don't hate them.
Okay.
I kind of think, like, what let them down is the primary colours.
Yeah.
They do look upgraded. They just don't look menacing. Like,
no, they don't.
The ones, the green, the camouflagey ones, they look more menacing than the other ones.
They look ruthless.
Yeah.
These other ones they're a bit too big. They're sort of chunky and they're like something you'd see at a fairground, like a bumper car, like you said.
I don't hate them that much as you do.
Okay.
Like, for me, I'm just like, okay, that's cool. I just think you don't need 7.
No. So the reason that there's 7 different colours is because...
Is there 7?
Or maybe it's 6, I don't know. But anyway, they had this plan. They never ended up following down this route because they decided not to.
They're all mini bosses.
So they all have a different role. Those are like a core team. So the red one is a drone. The idea being that if you see an episode with loads of Daleks invading, they'd all be red ones. So the red one is the lowest ranking one.
Okay.
And then you've got other
ranks.
That's the word. There's
I don't know, all going up to the white one.
Yeah, I don't know what. I think the white one's the supreme one, and then you've got a strategist and an engineer or something.
This feels very much like they've overcooked the Dalek pudding.
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't want to have that.
No.
Preferably stinking. We're going to kiss a vampire.
Right.
I think they were trying to recreate the magic of the Court of Skaro.
The cult of Skaro.
whatever it's called, because they were menacing. They were ruthless.
Yes.
These ones, and like the deeper voice was like,
Again, yeah, Daleks are meant to be, like, they sound a bit insane and a bit sort of insecure and like that. And these ones are just like, yeah, I'm a big boss.
only the white one sounded like that.
Oh, and I think they all did a bit.
No, they sounded a bit weird. But anyway, this is like a 20-minute conversation about the colours of the Dalek.
Well, this is what we're here for. This is what listeners are here for. So, Winston Churchill.
Ugh. Ugh, he was annoying. It was like a caricature of him.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I do know what you mean.
It just felt like he's seen someone play... He based his Churchill off someone playing Churchill. Do you know what I mean?
It's like a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy of Churchill.
It just feels like a bit like meh.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, in the 1940s, they would have a big comment on what Amy was wearing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, I know...
That skirt was so short.
Yeah. And that's the thing I don't like about what he's doing with Amy's character.
Yeah.
He's, like, sexifying her. And, like, she doesn't need to be in these short skirts. Like, the first time we see her, she was in fishnets and a short skirt. And don't get me wrong, if you feel confident enough in this, that's fine. If you are going out in that, that's fine.
Yeah.
You have a choice to wear what you want.
Yeah.
But if it's something if they're a new actress and like they're coming onto the scene and they're like acting, and I just think to myself, like, and she's young, we don't need to be
I know. I know exactly.
Making her look like an object.
Yeah, no, exactly.
On TV.
Exactly. The thing is, Doctor Who in the classic series had a long tradition of this, of being like, you know, the assistant was like a bit of eye candy, a bit of totty to have on the side, you know, with boobs showing and stuff like that.
Gorilla.
I think one of the producers used to refer to it as something for the dads. I would say Russell stepped away from that. We didn't have that with Rose. I mean, they were attractive women, but...
Yeah, but Rose was allowed to wear
slobby,
jeans
whatever,
and a hoodie.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like, she was a real character.
Yeah.
Whereas where Amy just feels like she's just, like... They're trying to make her a sex symbol.
Yeah. This is the thing with Stephen Moffat, that certainly at this point in his career, he was not known for being particularly good at writing women.
No. I feel like she feels very two-dimensional.
Yeah. I would say he's come on a long way since this point.
Yeah. I feel like Amy has, like, Karen Gillan is, like, obviously a very good actress. And, like, she's charming and she's like really nice. And, like, she is my, like, probably, I can see her quite easily overtaking Rose and Martha.
Yeah. And she's making a lot out of what is a very two-dimensional character on paper. She's making it a lot more, breathing a lot more life into it. But sometimes I think the characters that Stephen Moffat writes are like wish fulfillment of himself. Like or like what he like fantasies, like what he would love in a woman. Like this, she's gorgeous, sexy, long legs. She's witty and she quips and she sort of puts the Doctor in his place. And the other thing, again, from Confidential, when they were casting the companion, he has gone on record saying this. He watched Karen Gillan's audition tape and thought, she's quite good. It's just a shame she's so wee and dumpy. Because he thought from the tape, he could only see her like head and shoulders. He thought, oh, she's a bit whatever. And then he said they had her in for an audition with Matt Smith, with Stephen there.
Yeah.
He walked out into the corridor and he saw her walking down the corridor towards him, gorgeous long legs. And apparently he looked at that and thought, yeah, that'll work. And he said this on Confidential. Does that not just sound
creepy?
Awful. Yeah.
So she wasn't in the running because she didn't have long legs?
No, she was in the running.
Wow.
He was just... She was
given a pity audition.
No. I don't think it's that.
Well, that's what it sounds like, Stephen.
Yeah.
From your story, sounds like she was like, oh, okay, she's good, but it's a shame that so we'll give her an audition anyway, but it's not likely that she'll get it because he already had a pre-thing made in his head.
Yeah.
And so then suddenly they're like, oh, she's got long legs. Great. Karen Gillan, I don't care about your legs, babes.
No.
I just care if you're a good actress and you care for the role. Yeah. And you do care for the role.
So, like I said, again, that story is taken out of context and it probably sounds worse than it is, but it's not great.
No, it's not.
But then saying that, I'm a thirsty bitch for men, and I make comments about men on this podcast all the time.
Yeah.
Which many people could look at and say, well, you're just as bad.
Well, Russell's probably just as bad.
He is.
Because...
He's made similar comments about men. He's made comments about Russell Tovey.
I guess these middle-aged men are just...
I think there's a difference, because I'm just sitting here commenting like on a podcast, whereas Stephen Moffat was executive producer of a huge BBC show, and he was in a position of power.
Yeah, and he had someone's career.
Yes.
He was dangling a career option in front of her.
Yes. But I will say, I do believe he's grown a lot since then. Because I mean, the latest thing he wrote for TV was Douglas is Cancelled, which I watched. You didn't watch it, but it was very good. And it was 3 parts, and the first one starts off and you kind of think this is going to be a bit of a light-hearted giggle about, oh, you know, people can say the wrong thing and then get cancelled, ha ha ha. Mm. But then it turns into something a lot deeper and a lot darker by the end. And actually, Karen Gillan gives a fantastic performance in that. And it really like shines a light on the uncomfortable positions that women have been put in professional situations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was really good. Anywho.
Any booby.
But yeah, a long time ago, we were talking about Winston Churchill, and you thought he was a bit of a caricature of Churchill.
Yeah.
I can see that, and part of me is like, well, actually, this is only a 45-minute Doctor Who episode. That's kind of what you expect, isn't it? You don't expect to go into the depths of his character.
I guess not.
Because as well, like, this is another thing, Winston Churchill, he's presented as a bit of a hero in this episode, which he is in many ways, but he's a very complicated figure. There's a lot of controversy around him as well.
Yeah. I think we need to stop painting people as either black or white.
Yeah, exactly.
We all have had made choices that are negative and positive.
Yeah.
And those choices, like, they live with us for the rest of our lives.
Mm. But this is why, like, there's been a lot of discourse in the last few years about statues and statues of people being torn down and stuff.
Get rid of them all.
Yeah, I think having a monument of a person,
have a monument of a dog,
is never a great idea, because you're never going to find a person that is unproblematic.
Yeah, because some people love him, some people hate him.
Yeah,
yeah. Just get
monuments to ideas and events and stuff. But yeah,
100%. Like have things that will make us not forget, but we don't need to celebrate. Like,
yeah, I do feel as a nation we have.
Napoleon is like sorry. Napoleon is like a really complicated figure, but they celebrate him.
But I'm sure people are having these conversations about him as well.
Victoria is very complicated.
Yeah,
and she's celebrated.
Everybody is. But what I was going to say was, I do think as a nation we have quite an unhealthy and weird obsession with the war, and Britishism, and also people like baby boomers who weren't even alive in the war. They still use it as this example of how amazing Britain is, and they're like, remember during COVID,
they were raised by people who had just survived it.
Yeah, but they will tell you, the people who are actually in it will tell you it was not a great time to be alive. No. It was a terrible time.
Yeah,
but they hark back to it like, oh, we wouldn't have had any of this namby-pamby nonsense in the war. You know,
you weren't alive, babes.
Exactly. One of the things I do quite like about this episode is the way that you get to see the Daleks behaving in a way that they don't normally behave.
Which makes it very unsettling.
Exactly, yeah. And the way they're very subservient and like, would you care for some tea?
Yeah.
It's actually, Mark Gatiss, I think, was inspired by a 1960s story with Patrick Troughton. It's a lost story. You can't actually watch it now. And the Daleks were doing something similar in that. They would say to people, I am your servant.
How do you know it's a lost story?
Because it is.
How did it become lost?
Because the BBC wiped over the tapes. The original master tapes.
Why would they do that?
Because they used to do that back in those days to save space in their archives.
Save money?
Yeah. So a lot of 1960s stories were lost. And there's a lot of them that we only have to watch now because luckily someone taped them, or someone had a copy somewhere.
Oh.
Or whatever.
So the BBC just takes that copy?
Yeah. And there's still a few, I don't know how many, but there's still some lost ones to this day that don't exist, that we know of, and that we're hoping at some point will turn up and someone will say, oh, I've got it.
Are you hoping for that?
Well, I don't really care that much, to be honest, but there are some people that do.
Doctor Whoey Booey.
But it's crazy because there are also obviously still people alive who remember watching it when it aired, but it doesn't exist anymore. So you liked the design of the like khaki camouflage Daleks?
Yeah, I thought they looked more menacing than the...
Yeah, I thought they looked cool.
Oh my God, the Daleks that came out, they looked like they were like some pop band.
Oh my God, yeah.
They just needed like little weird 80s wigs. And they could go, we are the Daleks, we are the Daleks, we
I was thinking,
are the Daleks.
Something like Westlife, you know, where they sit on stools and then like there's a key change and they stand up or something.
Yeah,
it's a bit like that.
They go like this. We are the Daleks, whoop-a-doo-be-doo-boo. Don't you hate that noise? Where it goes, boop, boop, boop,
What noise?
boop, boop, boop.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I can make myself sound like a violin. Right here.
No. Ben, have you ever heard a violin? You sound more like a theremin.
Oh.
When you started, it was way down there. I was like, well, that's a cello, not a violin.
Oh, what's in my pocket here? Oh, yeah, it's a fucking middle finger, bitch.
You had to audio describe that for the podcast.
Yes, I did.
Anyhow, so we also had Professor Bracewell.
Yeah.
I like him. Do you know who the actor is?
No.
It's Bill Patterson. He's quite a... Oh my God, I say this phrase so much and it makes me sound like such a pompous twat. He's a very well-respected actor. It makes me sound like my dad. But no, he is. He's quite a well-known actor.
You say that all the time.
I know I do. But yeah, I think of him as Bruno's father in The Witches. Remember?
Who's Bruno?
Bruno's the boy who turns into a mouse. The other boy, the one who's like...
Oh, God,
The one who's like, is there any cheese in these sandwiches? Or something. He says something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and he wants the chocolate. He goes to the room and he said, where's my chocolate? And then the grandma has to take him to the parents to say, your son Bruno is a mouse. I know she's not Welsh.
My hatred for the new film is that they don't turn back into children.
No, but that's how it was in the book.
I don't like that.
They changed it for the film and Roald Dahl hated it. They have to learn to live as mice.
But mice have shorter lifespans.
So?
That's just harsh.
Yeah, but unfortunately, but you deal with what you're dealt in life. I think it's disrespectful to make such a big change to the story.
I don't think Roald Dahl was alive when that was made.
He was. It was very, very tail end of his life. And he spent the remainder of his life moaning about it. But there, speaking of problematic people, let's not dive into Roald Dahl's controversies. But yeah, anyway, Bracewell, he's a very good actor, Bill Patterson. So
yeah, you could tell that.
Yeah, I almost feel he's a bit wasted in this
100%.
in this episode.
Like, I was thinking to myself, like, okay, the Doctor, this man is very smart. And you've just made him feel very human. Take him with you.
So what do you think he's going to do now?
He's going to go find Dora Lee.
Dorabella.
Yeah. I'm so sorry if your name is Dorabella, but it's an ugly name.
Yeah, I love that bit when he says it and then it's this really sweet, tender and important moment and the Doctor just goes, Dorabella? And then he goes, it's a lovely name. It's a lovely name.
Yeah. And like, this is a good moment for Amy because it shows Amy's very human.
And this is the second episode in a row where she saved the day when the Doctor failed to.
Yeah. Oh my God, when the TARDIS goes...
What?
When the TARDIS goes off on its blop way,
yeah,
we see the smile again.
The crack in the shape of a smile. Yes. And what were they talking about just before they went off?
Amy can't remember the Daleks.
Yeah.
So the Daleks are in the future, and they are doing something.
Yeah.
They are like changing history.
Maybe.
And they are trying to crack time open to like maybe harness energy or other dimensions. Because if they can get to other dimensions, they can get more Daleks across.
So you think they've erased that from time?
Yeah, they're trying to erase...
Which is why she doesn't remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's very interesting that he's going down this route, Moffat, because...
he's resetting everything.
Yeah. But do you remember how throughout the Russell era, there were so many invasions and the public were aware of? And it came to the point where, like, everyone just knew about aliens. And they even made jokes. They started off making jokes about it with Donna when she was first introduced, being like, "Oh, I didn't know anything about Cybermen. I was on holiday." I was scuba diving. That's why I didn't see them. And that was meant to be a joke of like, oh, humans just, they turn a blind eye.
Yeah.
But I think Moffat was like, rather than just brushing it under the carpet or making a joke about it, let's actually explore a reason for why we would reset things, you know?
Could be that like the Gallifreyans are like involved again, and they're trying to reset the war.
Could be.
Yeah.
So the thing is, Bracewell turned out to be a robot and had his hand shot off.
I quite like that.
Yeah. But the thing that I was questioning was like, the story was ostensibly that this scientist has invented these robots that can help them in the war, right? But I question how believable it is that someone in the 1940s could have done that.
If you are,
I get that they're desperate.
If you're desperate, you'll believe anything,
and they're clutching at straws.
Yeah,
but it did just seem a little bit out of
character,
out of the blue. Yeah. And also, when the Doctor was trying to prove that they're the Daleks and they're aliens and they're evil and blah, 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 and they were saying, no, they're just the robots he invented, couldn't he have taken the top off one of them and shown them the mutant inside?
Maybe they're immune to a sonic screwdriver.
Yeah. But if they were really subservient or all that, he could have just said, can you take your top off, please? So to speak. And then we'd have seen a topless Dalek. Like a page 3 Dalek. Sorry, I'm going down a weird route there. Anywho, the Jammy Dodger.
Didn't look like a Jammy Dodger.
Really?
It looked. Just...
Oh no! I tell you what it looked like. It looked like one of those
Fox's biscuits.
Fox's biscuits with jam.
They are double delicious.
Yes. Jammy Dodgers have a heart.
They have a heart.
Yes.
And they have little splodges on the outside.
Yeah.
That was not a Jammy Dodger.
Yeah, you're right. I've never noticed that before. But yes, it's not a Jammy Dodger. That is factually incorrect.
There's one thing you should know about me. I know my biscuits.
Yeah, you do.
I know my biscuits and I know my sweet treats. And that was not a Jammy Dodger.
No.
Those in America, if you think that, oh, we've got a Jammy Dodger, let me go try some from the supermarket. No. You need Fox's biscuits. They're called jam and cream.
Yeah.
They're delicious.
Anywho.
Or, even better, get yourself a Fox's biscuit box.
Yes.
Yes, we have Fox's biscuit boxes in this country.
Okay.
And they're delicious.
Okay.
And you have Christmas ones, and you have you have tea time ones. If you're ever in the UK and you want a good biscuit,
yeah.
Start off with getting the Fox's cookies because they're good.
Okay.
Then you want to move on to like something tradish, maybe like a malted milk.
The king of biscuits for me is the custard cream, always will be.
No. Don't ask me why these are in the biscuit aisle, but fig rolls are nice.
Oh, they are nice, but yeah.
But they're more like a pastry. What other biscuits? I love the Lou butter biscuits.
No, just give me a custard
chocolate
cream.
Chocolate fingers are nice. And do you know what I discovered? There's an aisle in our Tesco's that says cakes, yeah?
And Jaffa cakes are
Jaffa
in it?
cakes aren't in that aisle. And Jaffa cake, how can people think that a Jaffa cake is a biscuit? It's not. It's in the name. Jaffa cake. Jaffa is a type of orange and it's saying cake. It's an orange cake.
It's debatable.
No, it's not.
Have you ever heard of a misnomer?
It's not. Do you know how I know it's not a biscuit?
Yeah.
Because a biscuit gets soft when it's stale. Because it absorbs moisture. A cake gets hard because it loses moisture.
So Jaffa cakes get hard, do they?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what I learned the other day?
It's Jaffa cake.
Okay.
It's aerated.
I believe you. Can I say something? What I learned the other day is that where the name biscuit comes from. Did you know?
From a man called Bisque.
No.
And they used to call people called bisques. And then he cut them, and then he was like, "Oh, they're like biscuits. We cut the bisque. Biscut."
No, the bi at the beginning, bi means two.
They used to be sandwiched together.
No, it means twice cooked or twice baked or something like that. Apparently, you cook them once, then you cook them again. Apparently, that's where you get it from.
Oh,
and there's such a thing as a Triscuit, which is three times.
What would a one baked biscuit be?
A monoskit.
A monoskit?
Yeah.
That sounds like some kind of thing like nuns do.
Like a monastery.
A monoskit.
It's when the monks in the monastery. It's
do
when
a-
the
they
the
do a
monks in the
sketch
monastery
show.
put on a sketch show, and the next monoskit is. Yeah. Anywho, biscuit chat was lovely. But yeah, as he calls it, a jammy dodger, but it's supposed to be like a thing with a button that he presses. Did you guess straight? Did you see straight away that it was just a biscuit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
Yeah.
Because I feel like this Doctor is full of gimmicks.
He is. Yeah.
And he just
Quirky.
feels like he just doesn't know where he's going, and he needs time to think.
Yeah.
He needs more processing time, so he blags it.
Yeah. Which is kind of what the Doctor is about, I think. Any updates on how you're feeling about Matt's Doctor?
I still prefer Tenny.
Yeah.
But
Has he
Matt's
grown on
not
you?
too bad.
Yeah.
I think it's not Matt. I think it's the writer.
Yeah. The thing is, Doctors do develop as they go on. They go through arcs of their own. And
Yeah.
Matt Smith in his first series... Sorry, I shouldn't say that because you don't know how many series he's going to do. Let me just
At
say,
least 2.
at the start of his era, at the start of his time as the Doctor, he's very like a fresh puppy.
Because he's young.
Yeah, and he by the time he finishes on the show, he will be harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also got the imagery of Spitfires in space in those gravity bubbles. Not sure why they're gravity bubbles when you don't need gravity, you need oxygen for them.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're in bubbles and they're Spitfires in space. What did you think of that?
Very Star Wars.
Where they were shooting the ship.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's just like suddenly like he's gone from missiles. No, what they're shooting is lasers.
Yeah, I don't know how they did that.
Because like I guess it's alien technology, but
It is, yeah.
he said missiles. He didn't say
No, well, no, first he said a missile and then he said or, and Churchill had the idea.
something bigger.
Yeah. I do find he is a bit of a caricature, as you said, but some of his lines, like, I like the bit when he says, "Now I don't give a damn if you're a machine, Bracewell. Are you a man?" And he puts a cigar in his mouth, like, "Rrr." Oh, I'll have to do Churchill for the Patreons, won't I? Oh, yeah, there's a bit that really annoys me every time I see this. You know that bit when Bracewell brings in that scanner and he's like, it can pick up the Dalek transmissions, and then you see in the circle, you see the image of the Doctor and the Dalek.
They barely have black and white TVs.
I know. Well, yeah, but they said it was alien technology. But anyway, the thing that really annoys me is when they show the Doctor on the ship, like in a normal shot, he's about 6 feet away from the nearest Dalek.
Yes.
And then they cut to the little thing of him in the circle, and he's literally, they're right, almost touching. Because presumably they couldn't, when they shot it from the side, they needed to have them close together to get them in the shot.
Yeah.
And it's just ridiculous, because that's not how he is.
No.
It's almost like the Dalek's hugging him. It's got his plunger around him.
Hug me! Hug me!
That's me to you when you get home from work.
Embrace me! Embrace me!
Anyhow, we talked about defusing Bracewell as the bomb, didn't we?
Yeah,
And
I like
Dorabella.
that. It was good. A good part.
Well, it is good, but also it's a little bit like... It's a bit unrealistic.
Yeah, I didn't understand what that did to the...
It's like he had false memories implanted in his robot brain. And the idea was, feel those emotions and prove to the bomb that you are human and you can't explode. But doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
It's very what we like to call love saves the day, which is something that happens a few times in Doctor Who. And it's a bit like, oh, okay. The power of love. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. It's not one of my worst ever episodes, but it's pretty far down.
Yeah.
When it comes to ranking it, where are we thinking?
Puke, puke, puke.
You're giving it 2 stars.
Yes.
Same as the last 2 episodes. But you did enjoy it slightly more.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the question is for me, do I put it in puke or do I go down to absolutely not? I think looking at my ones I've got in absolutely not, the Long Game, the Cybermen 2-parter, Fear Her, the Lazarus Experiment, I think it's similar to those because I don't hate those episodes necessarily. So yeah, I think for me, Victory of the Daleks has got to go down in 1 star. Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
But like I said, there are things that I enjoy about it, but it's just disappointingly weak, really. I think of the Mark Gatiss episodes we've seen so far, it's the weakest.
Yeah.
So The Unquiet Dead and The Idiot's Lantern, both better than this, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah. Patreon, 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 shoutouts. Patreon, 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 shoutouts. I'd like to welcome our newest patron. Welcome, Nat.
Welcome, Nat.
We're thrilled to have you on board.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you for joining this crazy little world of ours.
You join the wonderful ranks of Louisa, Philip, Northerly, Jason, Tom, Louis, Michael, Heather, Benny, Caleb, Monica, Amber, Jess, Kaylee, Kieran, Jay, Owen, Natalie, Imogen, Sarah, Aaron, Jake, Matt, Ryan, Janie, Ryan, Elijah, Scott, Tony, and now Nat as well. Patrons, KBO, keep buggering on.
Was that everything he said?
Yeah. Anyhow.
Winston Churchill said KBO to her people.
Keep buggering on, yeah.
Does he know what buggering means?
Probably. He's a grown man, Ben.
Keep having anal sex?
Yes. Keep bumming. Keep fudge packing.
Okay, stop now.
Keep mattress munching.
What's mattress munching?
Mattress munching.
What's that?
A mattress muncher is a slur for a homosexual. Because they're facing down and they've got their mattress in their mouth because they're being penetrated. Have you not heard that before?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because straight people can have that as well.
Well, anyway.
I think people who use that need to get the Kama Sutra.
Well, yeah, quite. Anywho, I don't think we've got anything more to add, do we?
No. Stay cool! Stay safe! Stay fantastic!
Stay fantastic!